So putting, it's so important, Dee, isn't it? I mean, you could almost say it was the most important part of the game.
Well, if you can't putt, you can't score.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you do need to keep the ball in play, but if you can't putt, one putt saves a whole lot.
It really does. And you know what else I think with putting? If your putting's good, the confidence can filter back through the game, can't it? Because it takes the pressure off the chip in, takes the pressure off the shot in.
100%.
Yeah, so
and there's no reason physically that all of our students on this golf school can't be great putters.
Absolutely.
There's no reason
I say that all the time too. Yeah. You know, there's not a lot of technique in it. And if you practice, it's all judgment of distance and it's confidence and it's feel, and that just comes from doing it a lot. And look, you don't have to do it as much as the pros do, but if you want to improve your putting, it's easy. Spend some time.
It's probably the most productive part for the least amount of effort to get a result.
Absolutely. And honestly, when I watch amateurs play, I think their putting is generally really terrible. I know that sounds really horrible.
But not pro golf gals students.
And I just think it's such an easy place to make improvement. You know,
best investment for money and time ever.
Is your putting. Is your putting. So let's go through some basics of the putting. So let's start off with the setup for your putting. So first of all, let's look at our grip. Now there's two grips in golf. There's one for putting and one for the rest of the game. You should grip it differently to putt than you do to play. A lot of people don't, they just use the overlapping or the interlocking. So this is quite important to make sure you grip differently, and there's a reason, and I'll show you what that is. So when you're putting, we want to have our hands pretty much sort of facing each other on the side of the grip, maybe a little bit open, and then you'll drop your right hand down a little bit lower than your left, and you'll curl your fingers around. Once you've done that, then the left forefinger comes out and goes down the outside of the fingers of the left hand. So that's your correct putting grip there. You're quite open with your palms, and the club is up the palm. So open this way, and then the finger down the outside. Now the reason that forefinger comes out is because it restricts your ability to get too wristy and keeps you nice and firm when you're putting. All right, so that's our correct golf putting grip. Now with the stroke, we ideally want to bend forward from the hips, and we want to allow our arms to hang down from the shoulders, and we want to have our eyes over the ball. Now eyes over the ball allows the arms to hang and swing and allows you to get that nice pendulum stroke. If you're not sure if your eyes are over the ball, you can take your setup to one ball and take a second ball, and then just drop a ball from your eye. It should drop around about in line with that first ball. If you find it's dropping in here, so you might be too far away. If you find it's dropping out here, then you might be too close. So that's one little trick to help you make sure your eyes are over the ball. So that's your setup, pretty easy stuff, pretty basic. And then your stroke is pretty simple as well. We want to make sure our putter face is square to where we're heading. That is really important. You can use the line on the ball for that. You can use the line, the guide on the putter. You can use this to help you line up nice and square. You can come around behind your putt and you can line up that way too. So putter face has to be square to where you're heading, and then obviously you want your putter straight back and through, making sure you use your shoulders. We don't want any hands and wrists when we're putting. If you're not sure what it feels like to use your shoulders, you can take a club, pop it up underneath your armpits and simulate your stroke this way. Obviously use a club here and use your putter in your hands. But what that does is gives you the feeling of the shoulders doing the work and not the hands and wrists. So this is probably the biggest killer of putting, is this action, and I see it a lot. So we want the pendulum from the shoulders, not from the wrists. Let the arms hang and swing and get the putter moving fairly straight back and through as best you can. If you do that all the time, if your putter face is square and your putter moves straight back and through, you're not going to go too far wrong with your putting. So we were chatting, weren't we, Dennise?
Unlike us to chat.
Dennise Hutton, golf professional.
Chatterbox.
Chatterbox. We were talking...
Oh, there's one of the trainee pros just going by.
We were talking about putting fallacies, because we were chatting about how people like to putt super downhill putts off the toe of the putter, and we both agreed that it's
ridiculous.
Not a good idea.
No.
Why not, Dee?
Well, because if you're hitting it off the toe, it's certainly going to deaden it down, but it changes the angle of the club face.
It does.
So you can't control it. It changes the speed.
Yes.
So you have no control over club face and speed. Yeah. Not a very good thing when you're trying to putt. Or the other one, Annie, is when they're trying to hit up on the putt. I mean, it's really hard. Putting is always, even though people don't believe it, you still have to compress the ball when you're putting.
Ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly. You're never trying to hit up on it.
No, no.
So,
okay, so don't hit it at the toe because it's not going to come out the centre. It's going to come out without any control.
Yep. Don't hit it halfway up the ball.
Don't hit it halfway up the ball. And what was the other? We had
the pendulum action.
That's right. That's right. That's a bit of a fallacy because people think it's the putter that's doing the pendulum.
Yeah, like this, Annie. We got it here, so I'll just go. This is a pendulum. This is a pendulum action, but that's not how you putt because it's got too much wrist action. So we want our shoulders being a pendulum.
That's right. So the pendulum is from the shoulders and not just from the putter. That's why people get too wristy because they're trying to create a pendulum with the putter and not with the whole shoulder triangle.
Yep.
And what was our third one, Dee?
The third one was,
memory
even though I'm older, the third one or the fourth one is, the basic third one is that if we're going uphill, people often say, oh, I've got to hit it harder. We don't hit it harder.
You don't hit it hard, you don't hit it soft, you vary the length of the stroke.
Yep.
That's right. And that's crucial to get consistent judgment of distance.
Exactly.
Which is so important to avoid through putting.
Because I think it's very important, like if we have a longer putt back, a longer stroke back, we want the same tempo back to the ball.
Yes.
So you don't want hit it harder because then it's a faster tempo. You
That's
just
right.
have the length.
And it'll be much more inconsistent.
Absolutely.
Because that just depends how you're feeling on the day. What's harder and what's softer.
There's so many myths in golf, Annie, isn't there? We've been in it so long, we have probably created some of them ourselves.
We might explore some more on the next video.
Let's do that.
Bye
for now.
To people's games and generally speaking how poorly people putt.
Absolutely, Annie. Like when I take people out onto the golf course and I do a lot of on-course sessions, the number of shots they throw away on the putting green, I actually say to them, I can take 5 shots off your score without a problem.
Yeah, that's
It's all in the putting.
It's all in the putting.
All in the putting.
And it's not as if there's much technique in putting. Anybody can improve their putting. And all the pros do is practice. They just practice, spend a lot of hours, and you don't have to do as much as that. But I wanted to issue a challenge to you over this coming holiday season and to practice your putting a little bit more. And Dennise is behind me. We thought we would do this together because we've both noticed it so much.
Vital.
How many putts people have and how many 3 putts people have. And it's just such an easy place to get improvement.
And you don't need to do a lot of practice. If you could do 5 or 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day at your home, you don't even know to a golf course.
Yep. What about we said, tell me what you think, Dennise. I was going to say if they could find half an hour 3 times a week for a month over Christmas, either to go to the course or do it at home on the carpet, and at the end of that month just to see just how much they've improved. Maybe work out how many putts you're having before you start the challenge.
Always work out where you are to start with. So
exactly.
Next time you go out, count how many, this is what I would, count how many putts under 4 foot you miss and how many 3 putts you have.
That's a good one.
And let's improve on that.
That's right.
And if you can't do half an hour, Annie, I know, if they did like 10 minutes 3 times a week, their scores would drop dramatically.
That's the thing. I think people don't believe that their putting would really improve that much. I think, oh, it's not going to make any difference to me, but it will make such a difference.
Huge difference.
And it's an easy thing to practice, isn't it?
Exactly.
You don't...
May I suggest also not to have 20 balls. I would suggest you do a little bit of practice doing it and then test yourself. I get all my students with 1 ball.
1 ball.
Test with 1 ball. Different spot.
That's right. And it keeps it a bit more interesting too. If you just stand there and hit ball after ball. Because people say to me, oh, Anne, but it's boring to practice your putting. So come up with some ideas and some little drills and some fun games. Maybe do it with a friend. Get a friend together.
Have a coffee afterwards.
Exactly.
Make golf fun.
We'll sort out your social life as well as your golf.
Exactly. Yes, come and see us. We can sort out everything for you.
But make a little pact with yourself. Maybe this holiday period coming up, some extra putting practice. Make a plan, work out some little fun games and make it more interesting. And we guarantee, don't we, Dee? We absolutely guarantee your putting will improve.
And we guarantee it so much. If you've improved a lot, let Annie know, let us know what you're doing, and we'll have a reward for you.
Really?
Yes. Bottle of wine.
You know what it is.
Something.
You're going off script now, Dee. So practice your putting.
Yes.